Welcome to Bassmaster Radio, presented by Phoenix Boats, the show for fishermen by fishermen. Today's show is brought to you by Enigma Fishing. Cast, catch, repeat. Visit Anderson, South Carolina, home of beautiful Lake Hartwell. Phoenix Boats, experience the difference. And by the Bass Anglers Sportsman Society. Now, here's lifetime BASS member Thom Abraham.
Mark Menendez with us here, and let's get into some of the details of it as well. First of all, last year, Bass ended up, the Elite Series ended up on ESPN2 with all that national coverage and so on. What was it like for you? Did you watch a lot of the coverage? Was it something that you had to steer clear of? How did you handle it during the season, based that you were on the sidelines?
Well, I mean, I'm a junkie, Tom. I had a phone in my hand. I had it on television, and I'm bouncing back and forth between Bass Track on my computer. So I watched with as if I were in the event. I'm a fan of fishing. I compete in the fishing side of it, but I was really excited about all the coverage that my guys were getting. I was a little jealous of the fact that I wasn't getting any of that great exposure, but it was great for fishing to be on the mainstream while there were a lot of people that weren't working at that time or working from home, either way.
And that kind of rolls into this year's TV contract, a new deal with Fox Sports and FS1. I mean, it's going to be absolutely tremendous. I would imagine that a lot of the guys looking at that very fired up for round 3 and round 4 coverage all season long of the event on Fox Sports Live.
Well, it's going to be fantastic. I've seen the numbers. My guy that pulls all my exposure numbers, and we've gone over it and gone over it and gone over it. Fox is just a little easier to get to with your television providers, so we're going to have more opportunities just in that alone. So the fact that we were one of 2 pro leagues that actually finished their season was quite impressive. It was difficult for everyone to do. We all had to pull together and get it all done together, but I really think that we have an optimistic and very bright future ahead of us with television and exposure coverage.
Mark Menendez with us. There was an interesting article that you were part of a while back in Bassmaster magazine talking about, the different things in terms of keeping yourself and your body physically fit when you're fishing. Talk to the seasoned anglers. I'm a couple of minutes older than you, so and I've been out fish a couple of tournaments a month. I fish the Eastern Opens, but not like when you guys are out there grinding away 7 days a week when you have the practice days and then the tournament days, hopefully all the way through the weekend. It's a little bit of a different animal. So if you're talking to guys that are in their 50s or older, what are the things that you can do to help yourself be able to hold up throughout a season of fishing?
10 minutes a day, Tom. 10 minutes a day is all you need. You need to try to watch what you eat. You need to get some exercise. But flexibility is the biggest thing. You need to stretch. I do yoga. My fiance, Melissa, that I mentioned earlier, she is an exercise instructor, and she has taught me some very basic yoga moves. That's my little dog Caesar in the background there. I apologize.
He's doing yoga now.
He's not doing, but he does do downward dog very well. He does do that. But basic moves, Tom. Those basic yoga moves. Holding them, doing them for a minute and a half, 2 minutes. In 10 minutes, a little stretch session really makes me feel better. I do them on the road. I do them every day. I have PT exercises that I'm supposed to do as well due to my back. So in 15 to 20 minutes, I can have a great workout and be ready to stand in that boat and fish and move and do what I need to do. And stretching is the biggest key.
Yeah, and you were able to get through this last year without having to have the surgery, correct? I mean, that was that was one of the things that was positive. Not that surgery can't be a very useful thing, but you were able to do it this year without having to go through surgery.
Absolutely. I did all my PT exercises, and a fellow professional angler, Dr. David Wooten from the Germantown, Tennessee area, contacted me, and we did some decompression stuff. We did other manipulations of the spine, and if it hadn't been for David, I promise you I would be way behind my placement that I'm in right now, my physical ability right now. So I'm grateful to the Wooten Clinic for taking really, really good care of me.
Mark Menendez joining us. And, when you talk about your career with Bass, by the way, your biography at Bassmaster.com says a 20-year veteran of Bassmaster tournament travel, a 30-year veteran. We got to get them to update that to a 30-year veteran with this deal. But you've seen, though, we have seen success. We've seen the young guys, but we've also seen success from some of the older guys and some of the seasoned guys as well. Talk about that blending, that on-the-water experience, that ability to kind of make adjustments and know because you've seen a thing or two, a thing or two, versus also all of the knowledge that you get from the electronics now and keeping on top of all of that. Talk about blending those two things together, because we are seeing some guys that have been around for a minute that are having some really good success.
Well, we've got that old petrified angler from Missouri, our friend Rick Clunn, that just keeps amazing us every year. We have the oldest angler of the year in history in Clark Wendlandt. I'm grateful to say I'm not the oldest guy out there. I've got 7 or 8 or 9 of them that are older than me, Tom.
Yeah.
So be careful what you wish for. But it really is comforting when I get in a position and fishing's not that good, or the body of water's going through something strange, that I can call on that experience. And it's a very calming effect when I know that I'm only going to get 3, 4, 5, 7 bites a day. And that was the case at the St. Johns River in 19 when Clunn and I were battling it out. I knew in a day's time I was only going to get 7 or 8 bites a day. But of those 7 or 8, 3 or 4 of them might be in the 7 to 8 pound class. And each day I caught fish over 6 pounds and multiple some days. But it was really, really calming to know that I had the experience, to have the mindset to just slow down, Mark. Turn that motor guide trolling motor down and just fish. Shut up. Don't think. Just fish, and it'll be okay. As a young person, I've got to go do this. I got to go down there and look. I got to check this. I got to check that. And the other thing is the financial pressure can drive an angler to make bad decisions. So fortunately, with a great stable of people that I work with, all my great partners, that's kind of taken away, and then experience kicks in, and I can remain calm. And we all make better decisions when we're calm, when we're fishing. There's no doubt about that.
Mark Menendez with us here talking about now this upcoming season as he returns to the tour. Now, you mentioned the St. Johns River didn't go the way you wanted it to last year. It was a completely different deal. Everything was blown out. We missed days because of weather. But going back to 2019, you had 95 pounds. Mark, you have 95 pounds, you win the tournament, okay? You're supposed to win at 95 pounds. 95 pounds, you finished third there, though. Make a good check. And how excited are you to get back and start again at the St. Johns River in Palatka?
Well, I'll give you a little history, Tom. I fished my first professional level tournament in 1987 on college break at the St. Johns River. So I've got a lot of history there that it's really neat to come back and see the place, and a lot of great memories there, fishing there with my mentor, Clyde Watts, in which I talked to him the other day. He's 96 years old, and I talked to him the other day in Florida. So it's really a good feeling to go back there. I'm very comfortable there. I've had very solid finishes there, with the 19 tournament being obviously the pinnacle of that, but I've had some other solid money finishes there, and I just feel comfortable there, Tom. Sometimes you go to areas that you're not comfortable in, and the St. John's is so diverse, you can find an area in which your confidence level goes up, and that's a big key.
244 tournaments. You are an old guy. I mean, that's a lot of tournaments, Mark, 244 tournaments.
I guarantee you I'm an old guy. But what's so funny, during my break, Tom, I spent a lot of time on YouTube watching old Bassmaster events, some from the 80s, some from the ones that I did well in early career. And I can give you specific examples of fish that are caught on television, that how that fish bit the bait, what it bit, and where I was at, and how I made it bite. I still remember everything about it. It just seems like it was yesterday that I got started.
You don't have to tell me. I started in 1980 as a member of Bass. 1981, I think I got my lifetime membership to BASS, and I can remember seeing my name in the magazine when they used to put your name in the magazine. This month's new lifetime members, and your name was in the magazine, and then now it's there every week or every month when the magazine comes out. But that was such a thrill back for 20-year-old Thom Abraham back in 1981. All right, finally, before I let you go, you always got your finger on a pulse. What's going on with Kentucky Lake? Give us the latest on that in terms of the battle against the Asian carp, because I'm hearing some positive things.
Oh, there's a lot of positives here, Tom. This fall, I bought an old skeeter boat from a friend of mine, and my son and I got to fish a lot because he was out of school from COVID, and we'd go in the afternoons. I spent a lot of time below Kentucky Dam fishing in the Tennessee River, where I have great history and won some major events down there in the past. And it took me a while, Tom, to realize I had to throw away all the knowledge that I had, and I had to start fishing this in terms of how I fish the St. Lawrence River, how I fish rivers with current in it. And Max and I really did a number on the smallmouth, largemouth, and spotted bass below the Tennessee River, below Kentucky Dam.
Wow.
Great quality and great quantity. So the river stages got a little bit dangerous, so we took it back up to Kentucky Lake before Christmas and had several really productive trips up there. I had several fish in the 5-pound range, so I was seeing some bigger than average and older year class fish. But, Tom, I caught so many in the 14.5 to 15.5 inch range. It's amazing. I'm seeing bait in the lake again for the first time in a long time. I'm seeing the smallmouth have been they've been superlative the entire time. The Asian carp haven't seemed to bother the smallmouth population too much, but the lack of largemouth over time, I'm seeing the spotted bass come back in our lake, and I'm thrilled to see those little Kentucky State fish, the Kentucky spotted bass, in our lake.
Tremendous.
I have videos on my phone of the commercial fishermen still catching the tar out of those darn Asian carp. So we're getting them out. We got over 6 million pounds out of the northern end of Kentucky Lake last year. We're looking to get 8 million pounds out this year. We had some funding given to one of the local county areas here from AFCO, giving them money to give a stipend towards more Asian carp being caught. AFCO also is doing a T-shirt, a War on Carp T-shirt. I think you can find that at Tackle Warehouse, and you can find that on the AFCO website that I helped design. A portion of that T-shirt goes back to fight the Asian carp. So we're fighting them from every angle. We've had great spawns to get a lot of our bass back. We've had the crappie fishing here, Tom, is off the chain. That's how good it's been. And we're seeing our bait come back. If we get one more good spawn in 2021, we're set to get Kentucky Lake and Barkley Lakes back to a very formidable fishery that it once was, and we will increase our fish population as it was in the past. So we are moving forward, and I am just so darn excited about the health and welfare of Kentucky and Barkley Lakes.
Wow, that is great news right there. Mark Menendez has been our guest. Mark, we appreciate you so much. As always, tremendous work, and good luck, man. We'll see you out there on the trail.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to pick up my boat in about 30 minutes and get started on the transformation of getting it rigged and ready. So it's time to go to work, Tom. I'll see you on the trail.
Thank you.